Welcome back, 7th graders. Today's video is kind of to just get a feel for what is going to happen in this virtual learning scenario for your 7th grade social studies class. Okay. Uh, right away, some things that I'll get out. I am going to post a calendar on the Google Classroom along with this video that explains what you will be doing every day for potentially the next 8 weeks, okay, which brings us to the end of school. Hopefully, we're able to return to school before then so we don't have to do this difficult style of learning, but we're going to do the best that we can in this situation, okay? So make sure every day you're looking at that calendar. So for example, tomorrow will be April 14th. You'll be watching this video. Look at your calendar. It says April 14th, class introduction and setup video. Please watch, okay? So this is your assignment for today. All right, then you look at April 15th, it says that the 8.1 review video. So for the next 3 days, basically, since we've had such a long time off of class, I am just going to review Chapter 8 for you. Now, the work I gave out to you for the last 2 weeks, okay, that wasn't graded, was all of Chapter 8 stuff. So you should have already done it. Okay, so those of you that did do it, and a few of you sent it to me, fantastic. Okay, you're ahead of the game. Those of you who have not, that stuff is posted on the Google Classroom. Please do it, okay? Because I'm going to review it, and then we'll go over the Chapter 8 assessment, which is not going to be the same test that we took in class, okay? We'll obviously do something different, and I'll get to that a little later in this video. But you kind of understand. So the calendar is going to tell you every day what your assignment is. Get that assignment done, and you're good to go for my class, okay? Moving on to some big points that I have. 99% of what we're going to do right now takes place on Google Classroom, okay? It's a great thing that I had you guys join this earlier in the year. It makes it super simple to collect assignments from you, okay? Now, I'm going to keep class very, very similar or as similar as possible, given the circumstances, to what we were doing in class. That way you guys can stay in that structure that we had developed. So we're still going to do the KWLs for chapters or sections. We're still going to do guided readings. We're still going to do notes, okay, and all that stuff. And once you fill it out, the next day I will post a video of me going over either my notes or my KWL and asking you maybe a few questions that you can use to kind of build on your knowledge or to ask further questions in what you're learning about. Okay, so it's going to be very similar to what we did in class, or as similar as I can make it. That way you know what's happening. It's not a total change of circumstances. You guys are trying to figure out something crazy. It's going to try and be as similar to what you know. That way it's easier on you. I know with all of this it's going to be very, very difficult on a student. So I'm trying to keep my classes as simple and as close to normal as possible for you. Okay. That being said, I do have a few big points to go over. This is all on your calendar, so you can look at it on the Google Classroom as well. Even while you're listening to this video, if you want, you can open it in a side page. Third and fourth quarter will be pass-fail. Okay, so that means your A, B, C, D, F grade doesn't necessarily matter as much anymore. Now, what does matter is whether or not you turn your work in. If you do not turn your work in or complete your work on Google Classroom, okay, you will not pass. Needs to be done, okay? If you do not have access to the internet, one, you're probably not watching this video. But two, please contact the school, okay? And they have kind of a mail system that they will mail you work, and then I can either contact you via phone call or something like that in order to get your assessments from you to make sure you are learning the information that I need you to learn so I can pass you on 7th grade social studies, okay? So make sure you're completing your work. That is essential, okay? All of this work starting on April 14th, okay, the first day after spring break, is graded. It's just like normal class, except we're doing it on the internet, okay? 99% of your work will be completed on Google Classroom, like I said earlier, okay? I will be available for any questions that you have between 8 and 3 p.m. most days. That's just generally a time that I'm, home and my phone's out and I can go on email and stuff like that. Although I probably will respond if you email me at other times also. Okay. Usually within an hour, I'll get back to you if you have a question. If my emails aren't answering your questions enough, you can set up with me a time to use either Zoom, FaceTime, Google Meet, any of those things so that we can kind of talk one-on-one, face-to-face, and maybe answer your questions in a different way that I can kind of explain things to you. Okay, but again, that needs to be set up. I can't read your mind if you need to do that stuff. So please email me at my school email. If you go into your school email and type my name in, it will come up. You guys have all done this. I know a lot of you have emailed me already. So again, questions at all about any assignment, about anything that's going on. If you just need to talk about something that's going on at home or any of that kind of stuff, please send me an email. I will figure it out. Okay? Work will have a due date attached to it. So for example, if we're looking at your calendar, which is what I'm looking at right now, okay, it says that, let's look, on April 21st, your chapter 8 assessment video and questions, okay? And then 22nd is the same thing, continued. So what that means is it says submit on Google Classroom. Is you'll go to Google Classroom. I will have questions in a video there for you to watch. You watch that video, answer the questions, and submit it on Google Classroom. That is how I give you a grade. If you do not submit it, say you forget or you just don't do it or whatever, I can't give you a grade. Okay, and again, it's pass fail, so you need to turn that stuff in. If you need more time to accomplish something, so let's say I have those due on the 22nd, but there's 4 people in your house, you all need the computer to do work, I understand, okay? You need to talk to me though. If you just don't turn something in for a week, it doesn't put me in a good situation, okay? If you email me or Zoom or whatever, that good stuff, okay, and talk to me and tell me what's going on, I'm going to be flexible with you, okay? But communication is key. I understand that this is a difficult time. It's not easy as a learner. It's not easy as a teacher. Okay, so I'm going to try and be as flexible as possible, but communication is key. If you don't communicate with me, I am just going to assume that you didn't do it. Okay, so please be flexible. If you don't have access to the internet, talk to either Mr. Copeman or myself, any of that stuff, so we can get things mailed to you, or you can pick up hard copies from the school by an appointment. Okay? Again, if you need more time, please talk to me. All assignments should take 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so it's not like I'm going to give you an hour and a half of homework every day. I'm going to give you 20 to 25 minutes of assignments, and that includes the video that I'm giving you. Okay, so it's going to be enough to keep you learning, but it's not going to be busy work in a sense. Okay, so the things that I am giving you are essential. I need you to do them so that we can keep progressing and we don't lose all this time, right? Because if we just take 3 months off of school, that's 3 months that you aren't learning stuff and getting smarter. So we need to make sure that we do these things, okay? They're not necessarily optional anymore. They're graded assignments. So I need you to do them. Okay, and then turn them in on Google Classroom when your schedule says to do so. And again, if you have questions on any of that stuff about turning things in, about when things are due or what is due, I'm the guy to ask. Okay, please email me, set up a Zoom time, whatever you need to do. Okay? Assessments for chapters will be different. So we used to take those chapters tests, right? Obviously, I can't do that anymore. Why? Because anybody who has a computer or a phone that you're watching this video on right now can easily Google the answers, right? Okay, so that doesn't work. What we're going to do, okay, and not that you guys would cheat and do that, but to be safe, okay, is I'm going to give you different forms of assessments, okay? So what I'm trying to do is make sure that you are learning the major points of what I am teaching. Okay, so I might not focus so much on the little details that I would in class because I don't get to spend as much time with you and work on those little details. But what I do need you to learn is the big points of what I am teaching or what I am giving you. So your assessments at the end of chapters or stuff like that will be a little different, and I'll explain those more when we get to the first one, which will be the Chapter 8 assessment, okay? The quizzes that we normally took at the end of every section, I'm going to replace those with your assessment questions. Okay, so your assessment questions need to be turned in on Google Classroom using Google Docs. I will set that all up. You'll notice the first couple times turning things in on there might be a little confusing, and I expect a lot of questions. I'm ready for it. But hopefully we get the hang of things really, really fast then, and we can get right back in that role like we had in class where you all knew what was going to happen, and it was great structured work and all that good stuff. So hopefully we can get back into that routine rather quickly. Okay. That being said, when we do the assessments, don't copy and paste things, people. Okay. Especially since we're all using computers now, it's super easy to tell. So don't do that. Just use your own words, use your own thoughts. Okay. Basic stuff that I shouldn't have to tell you about, but you already know. Okay, so those are just kind of some big points that I wanted to talk about. To finish out, if we go the full 8 weeks on virtual learning here, Okay, which, like I said, hopefully we get back to school. But if we don't, I plan on covering chapter 8, which will go rather quickly because it's mostly review, chapter 9, and then we're going to talk about the government to end the school year. Okay, so not a lot of content left, but again, I can't, but I'm only going to give you 20 to 25 minutes worth of work a day, so it's going to take a little bit of time, but we'll get there. Okay, so that's my plan. Hopefully, we get to come back to class. Okay, but if not, be prepared to do this. So if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today, or if I missed something that you think is super important, please contact me. Okay, email is great. I respond rather quickly. If you need to set up one-on-one time, I'm available for that also. I've recently learned how to use the Zoom app and stuff like that. I have it on my phone, so we can get right to work with that kind of stuff. I think that's about it. So if you have questions, make sure you email me. Check the calendar on Google Classroom every day for what you are supposed to be doing, okay? It will tell you right on there, this is what I want you to do, this is what I want you to read. Okay, it's very, very good. It's I've spent a lot of time planning it out, so it should work rather well. All right, make sure you have a good day. Make sure you stay healthy. Hopefully we get to see each other soon. Bye.